BIO electric toothbrush. The regular Wednesday crowd has shuffled in. We get what?
You got me imagining Mike Tomlin saying ta-ta. He walked into the office like, I'm done here. Ta-ta.
First of all, the emphasis goes on the first ta.
I'm sorry. It's my first ta-ta. It's my first ta-ta.
There'll be plenty more to come. Anyway,
Two Americas.
That's where the news begins today. As you have no doubt heard, Mike Tomlin stepping down after 19 seasons as head coach of the Pittsburgh Steelers. He was hired 5 months before the first iPhone was released.
Wow.
Tomlin still has 2 years on his contract, so the Steelers will retain his coaching rights till the end of 2027, which feels like it's interesting, if not important. Mike Tomlin quite literally and figuratively kissing goodbye everyone in Pittsburgh. So we start with the reporting side of the table here. What happened yesterday? Take us through how this went down in Pittsburgh.
Tomlin and Art Rooney, the owner of the Steelers, had always decided that they were going to talk after the season. Well, that happened about 9 a.m. yesterday. They had a meeting. The two of them spoke, and Tomlin basically said, I think we're good. Rooney agreed. He then met with the team at about 1:30 in the afternoon and released a statement to them, and also was able to shake everybody's hand individually. They gave him a standing ovation. So he's out. What's important now to note is what you were hitting on. 2 more years left on their contract, and I've been told the Steelers aren't going to just let him hit the market. This is going to be one of those where if you want to have Tomlin's services as a coach, you're going to have to trade something to the Steelers, like Sean Payton had the Saints have to trade, the Broncos had to trade something to the Saints. So what Shefty said yesterday, that he's likely not going to coach, this means a year away. I would imagine the broadcast TV world is most likely, but Tomlin hasn't said that directly.
And it just sort of stands to reason that if he walked in the door at 9 o'clock in the morning and said, we're done here, that was a decision that he had made previously. This wasn't something that he was wrestling with up to the last moment.
I don't think, barring some wild run through the playoffs where there was a galvanized building where we're going to do this for the next 5 years, I think it was established in his head that, hey, this is the last ride.
And Kmart, I can't count the number of times I have thrown to you live in Pittsburgh over the years that we've been working together here. And I know that I saw in your notes, you were getting texts from everybody yesterday.
Yeah. I mean, because it's a seismic shift, not just in the AFC North, but in the NFL in general. I texted with one player who was just like, I'm so sad. I'm honestly in disbelief. So as much as we've been talking about this, could this be the end for Tomlin for what felt like years? Inside that building, they heard the noise, they heard the boos, players were constantly asked about his future, but they felt like we are in this, like he's not going to go anywhere. Coaches blindsided, players blindsided. I had a GM text me and say, this is crazy. Like, I understand why he would walk away, but people in Pittsburgh have no idea how hard it is to win and what success looks like. And he said that he never got the recognition he actually deserved and the respect. I did, though, have one former Steelers player tell me, I love Mike Tomlin. I love him, but it was time. Both sides need a fresh start. And I think that's where you can respect the guy, you can respect the coaching and his tenure and all that and the success. But we've seen this for a lot of years, and I just think the noise got a bit too much around him.
Jeff, so that's what happened. That's what some of the reaction in the world was. What was the reaction in the room?
Yeah, listen, I think it's painful anytime you see someone who has this type of longevity in one place, and the sadness, because relationships are real in the NFL. And the funny part to me is how people are talking about people being blindsided, right? That just shows you how tunnel vision is in the NFL. You get so locked into what you're doing as a coach and a player, you really try to minimize the noise outside. And so for everybody who's been covering and paying attention, this to me was not a surprise. And I've been saying it for over a month now. The fatigue that Mike Tomlin had to have felt going through this last 6-week run or 8-week run. And listen, he went through it with Matt Canada, and I mean, he's done this, and people calling for his job, and just the amount of kind of uproar that he had in his own stadium. I'm sure at some point you go, you know what? It's just not worth it, man. I'm tired. It's an exhausting job anyway, and that does not minimize how good he is as a head coach or as a man in general. But at some point, this is how I always try to frame it. If this was a player, people would have said it's been a great run, and it's been a great run, and Hall of Fame, all of those things. It was time. It was time for both the organization and the coach.
And just real on that, how often do we get it where a coach can address the team and be the one to tell them?
Amen.
Yeah. And they gave him a standing ovation in the room. Like, that ending,
Awesome.
as bad as it was on Monday night, pretty cool on Tuesday morning.
The fact that there were players on that team that were surprised by it is a testament to Mike Tomlin's leadership. Like that's
right.
That's anybody. We've been around people. You know, when people are done, they normally retire before they actually retire.
That's
like
right.
I think that speaks to the culture they set there and his leadership ability. However, I think when we look back at the season, it seems a lot more obvious that this was a last dance situation.
Yeah.
Like they had a high price, very old defense. They went and got. They didn't try to find a quarterback to find out like what do we got in this guy. They got a quarterback that they kind of knew what they were getting. That is a certainty in some ways. Like we're gonna make one more run at it, and then I'm gonna walk away. And my guess is this is combined with a conversation with the leadership there, where they're like, all right. We've been on this particular treadmill for quite some time. So while we all are telling Steelers fans, be careful what you wish for, I kind of think bottoming out may be in their future, and it's kind of also what they wish for. I think a lot of the fans believe, and people in the league believe, that they're not going to be able to find a quarterback the way that they are continuing to go, which I personally don't disagree with, but I think that they've done this for long enough that now they're like, I don't know what the future holds, but we need to do something different.
You know what's so interesting? There's such a disconnect. In all the years covering this team, there's such a disconnect between the feeling in the building and the feeling outside in Pittsburgh. Because in that building, you talk to people in that building from top to bottom, he is the glue.
Yeah.
People don't realize what this man dealt with. People don't realize what he endured. People don't realize how important he is to just the fabric of the building. I had people text me that they were crying. You know, like it is seismic is such a word. And to your point about it speaks to the tunnel vision of players. Before that Week 18 game, I covered their Browns game in Week 17, which they lost. Heading into that Week 18 game with the Ravens, I talked to Steelers tight end Jonnu Smith, and he said, as a veteran, I appreciate the fact that from the beginning, whether we win or lose, nobody's too high, nobody's too low. And that's a testament to Mike Tomlin. It's the same message he's been preaching since Latrobe in training camp. We are so locked in, and that's what you need as a player. Not some guy who's just rah-rah, but a guy who can keep us steady and be that stability. The Steelers don't have that stability now. I am so curious how this affects the players who have wanted to play for him for so long. That'll be fascinating.
It's also hard for all of us to I think reconcile the two things that can be true is that he was a great coach. He could have been the glue. He's so important to that organization. But it's time for it to be over. Like that's also a fair point. And maybe he ends up somewhere else eventually, and that place I'm sure will be happy to have him. And maybe the Steelers do what they've done so far in history is find another young coach that is perfect for that situation. I don't know if they have the special sauce or they just got lucky, but we're about to find out.
Yes.
Yeah.
Rarely do we have the worlds of our world, sports media, and the NFL intersect like this, because I think there is going to be a free agent on the market, and it's in the broadcast TV world. Shefty said it. It's what I've been hearing for multiple years, that imagine Tomlin leaves. What would happen? He would take a year away and explore this. NBC has a Super Bowl. We have a Super Bowl next year. Fox, Jay Glazer and him are thick as thieves and our friends for 20 years. There are going to be opportunities and comfortable situations for Mike Tomlin as he's away. And I worked with Sean Payton the year he was gone from coaching and worked at Fox. Every week, Sean would sit in that avocado or green room at Fox and watch all the games and take notes. Tomlin's going to get a chance to step away, watch the league as an observer, and also be able to pick the brains of people like us on air, off air, and really get to lay out the landscape of the NFL and where he wants to go next.
The last person in the world I'm worried about is Mike Tomlin. Mike Tomlin is going to be 100% fine.
I was about to say, he's probably going to be the most desired. Can you imagine the speeches? I mean, six figures ain't touching it, and he's going to walk in. Every company in America wants him to come in and give. Because think about it, what he's done for however long he's done it, and with what we all say is below average at most of the time rosters, getting the most of his players. Every company, man, he don't need to get on anything. He can do what he just pick whatever day you want to go. Does Mama need new shoes? I'm gonna go right here, right now. You know what I mean?
So let's look at it though from the other side. What I was saying is I'm not worried about Mike Tomlin. Right. Well, let's show you what Mike Tomlin did. Cindy, let's see A16. Mike Tomlin, 19 years, never had a losing season, 13 playoffs, won a Super Bowl, made another, won the division 8 times, never finished last. In that span, the Patriots and the Packers were the only teams with better records than the Pittsburgh Steelers.
Wow.
What he leaves behind for all of these fans who have been clamoring for this and suggesting that all we need to do is make a coaching change and we're going back to the days of the steel curtain and we're going to be winning Super Bowls every single year. What he leaves behind is a team with a ridiculously overpriced defense that is old and not nearly as good as the money would suggest. They leave behind a team that does not have a quarterback. Aaron Rodgers is not coming back, and if he does, he's going to be 43 years old. He leaves behind a team, whoever coach walks in there is walking into a situation where the expectation is you need to win playoff games. The previous coach was fired for not winning playoff games. So you're walking into a place with not good players, no quarterback situation to speak of, and the expectations from the fans are very high. To me, that is not a desirable job. So again, to Steeler fans, I love you. I love Pittsburgh. I love going there. Mike and Mike, the first place we ever made it was in Pittsburgh. They will always have a place in my heart. I'm telling you, be careful what you wish for, because I have lived the other side of this. I have lived being bad and will draft the quarterback. And then that quarterback is Zach Wilson, okay? I'm telling you right now, it doesn't always go that easily. They don't always turn out to be Josh Allen.
Greeny is a survivor.
Can I say to the Steelers fans that Greeny has you maybe on the edge of the cliff? Take a step back.
Yeah.
Look at what the Eagles did. That they got rid of their coach Andy Reid, and then they figured it out. Look at what the Patriots did.
Look at the Bears. It could be Ben Johnson.
You moved on from your coach in the Patriots for longtime champion Bill Belichick, and then now you got something going. So it could work out too, guys. It could be all right. Or you could be the Jets.
Mike Tomlin ain't no dummy either. He knows what his team was too. I mean, you know what I mean? And you know the expectations that were placed on him. And so now he's sitting in that same chair. That's not an easy road. I mean, you think about all the noise you've already heard. You're not getting better next year. Like,
they know that though. I think Steelers fans aren't.
Who's they?
Yeah.
I think the Steelers fans aren't foolish. I don't think that they have these playoff aspirations next year. I think that they know that they're probably going to take a step back.
Yeah.
And I think they expect it. They're not going to be happy with it, but I think any reasonable Steelers fan knows that.
Yeah.
There is so much pressure right now on their GM, Omar Khan.
Yeah.
Because Tomlin for so many years had been the face of everything.
Yeah.
And now it's, okay, he's not there. This is your opportunity. You need a quarterback. You got to get this roster together. You've got to find you got to nail the coach. And so right now, this is an organization where Tomlin said, I am done. They were not expecting today to have to say, all right, who are we going to interview?
Right.
So that's a huge thing.
Is there any way of guessing? Just to
No,
sort of
but
put a
I would
bow on it here.
also add, it's not fun necessarily being the guy after the guy.
No, of course not.
That's not a desirable thing. However, the Steelers' selling point, I've already been told this, stability.
Right.
You come here, those
They're
owners,
going to give a long runway to this.
those Lombardi trophies in the hallway. Would you rather that, or would you rather have one of these franchises that fires a coach every 2 years and hires
As he looks at Greeny.
The one thing I would say, though, that's different on this is not a Cowher to Tomlin exchange, right? Like
that team was built to win.
Yeah, Tomlin inherited a good squad, a great court, like all those things. This is not that. So from Steelers fans, if you don't see that part, you're blind. That is a fact.
Let me pause briefly on this. We have a lot, a lot more to say, but I'm choked up. Just thinking about the end of the
How good
we
it's
have
done for him.